1,000 games for the A-League. It's pretty impressive.
It's gone quick, hasn't it? Yeah, I remember quite a few years ago. And the reality is, I think how far we've come in a short period of time has been tremendous. And fortunately for us, it's I suppose a little bit of a celebration as well that it falls on our game. But there certainly has been some highlights over the years.
Does it make you feel old?
Well, I know I'm old, so I don't have to. It doesn't matter what I feel. But I suppose, like you said, I've been here since day one as well. So, as I said, it's been, I suppose, refreshing to see where our code of football has come over, as I said, a short period of time, really, to a point now where we can comfortably sit amongst the other footballing codes in this country.
What's been the biggest change in all that time?
Look, from the reality is, I think the football's improved dramatically from when we started, if you like, to where we are now, for a whole range of reasons, and as the football has improved, the level of players that we can attract to the country now, has increased dramatically as well. I just think everything, in baby steps has gone in the right direction to get us to the point where we are at the moment.
Putting it on the field with the facilities, I'm guessing you don't know the candles what you've got now. I'm also guessing you probably get 10 journos to a press conference normally.
I think that, as I previously said, for our code to be where it is, now, that all those things come hand in hand, if you like. But going away to stadiums now, and even from playing surfaces to where we were a long time, I think everything, gradually has got to, and all those sort of things have been, haven't had a chance but to improve, haven't had a choice, but to improve, because, as I said, the level of football that's being played now, demands those sort of things, and all of a sudden now, especially from our perspective from where we started as well, playing across the road at Olympic Park, to outgrowing that, to getting huge crowds at Etihad, and also selling Amy out. It's been a mind-boggling 10 years.
I suppose it's all capped off as well by the fact that Ange Postecoglou, who's an A-League coach, gets the top job.
And that's another perspective as well. If you look at the level of coaching now, and there's a number of Australian coaches in the competition now as well, prior to Ange getting the job, the mention was, about 2 or 3 Australian coaches as well. So not only has the football increased, but a lot of things hand in hand have increased, the code in general to get to the point where it is now.
Newcastle on Sunday, what's their big game, 4th versus 5th?
Yeah, they're all big games. They're all big games. Coming away from last week, there's a sense of disappointment that we didn't pick up maximum points, but there were a hell of a lot of positives from last week. We were very good, very, very good for long periods of that game, and just that the final piece, if you like, we'll get right and hopefully get maximal points on Sunday.
What are you thinking selection-wise at the moment, given Leia and Broxham are ready to come back in?
Yeah, they are, and as I've said, other players have had the opportunity now, and as I said, the squad done very well last week. So I have given a lot of thought. I haven't come to a conclusion, if you like, at this point in time. That we've got a longer week this week, so everyone will be given an opportunity in training to, obviously, put themselves in a position for selection.
Good problem to have.
Very good headaches, and that was always a goal with the football club to be in a position where we've got good, strong competition with places, and that's where we find ourselves at the moment.
Well, the 1,000th game in the A-League, it's a pretty big milestone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously a big privilege, I think, for both our club and Newcastle to be involved in such an event. It's going to be a good weekend of football, and I think finished off with a good game here at Amy.
How have you seen it growing?
Well, I went away for the middle periods, and obviously it's been well documented. I think the growth that I saw from the time that I was away was massive. The jump in standard, I guess, in the 3 or 4 years that I was away was incredible. Actually, the calibre of players that were coming back, both Australian and foreign players as well, I think is a tribute to how far it's come in such a short time.
What's the difference in the style of play now compared to what it was when you were back in Sydney in the opening days?
I think the game's a lot quicker now. It's definitely played at a higher tempo, and you know I think that's got a lot to do with the young players that we've been able to bring through as well. You know, they bring a lot of youth and enthusiasm and the work rate, and I think that's really stepped the whole league up.
Do you think a key indicator in the growth of the league is the fact that we're talking about so many A-League players potentially getting on the plane to go to Brazil next year, where it was just you and Michael Bishop in the first camp, wasn't it, for 2006?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as I say, we've been it's really become a breeding ground for young Australian players coming through, and as I say, it's got the reputation now where we're able to bring Australian players like James Troisi back home, knowing that you know in the long run, if he's performing well and doing well here, that the national team is still an option. So it's good that we're talking about the league in this sort of a way, that it's you know a stepping stone for young players to head overseas and maybe a few more seasoned pros to come home and reignite their national careers.
Speaking of depth, I guess you're excited about the fact that you've got a few headaches this weekend as far as who to bring in.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's something that was really strengthened, I guess, in the off season with a number of signings. You know, obviously we have many options up front in our front line, in that front four. But I think the biggest thing for us now is the depth that we have across the back line. Obviously, Jason didn't play last week and came in and did a wonderful job against Central Coast. Ado was out as well. Nick Ansell stepped in, and to be honest, it was like he'd been there the whole time. So, you know, these are things that aren't just going to help us now, but I think are really going to come into play towards the back end of the season. You know, especially if we achieve our ultimate goal of qualifying for the Champions League. You know, we have a very rough run home in the domestic comp, and obviously a lot of travel away. And you know, I think if we can continue with minimal injuries and with the players and the squad that we have, you know, it's going to put us in very good shape come the business end of the season.
I guess defensively, last year Victory leaked quite a few goals. You must be pretty pleased coming off the back of 2 clean sheets.
Yeah, I think that was something that we definitely need to work on from last year, and fortunately enough this year we've been able to keep a few clean sheets, and I think we're quite solid at the back, which is always a great starting position, I guess. If you keep a clean sheet, then you'll at least get 1 point. So it's been good, but it can always be better.
How do you see the problems with selection this week? Would you like Adrian and Lee to come back in?
I mean, we've got a great squad. I think you know, Muskie can sort that one out. I don't want to have anything to do with it, but you know, I think it helps that we've got such depth in our squad, and I think that creates good competition in the squad, and it creates you know, a healthier breeding ground for success, I think.
Is there a player that's come back from overseas to play the A-League? What was the motivation there? Has it lived up to what you hoped?
Yeah, I mean, I've been away. I was away for a long time, so I didn't really know anything about the A-League. My draw card, I guess, was the club here, the supporters, the fans, and the facilities. But also Ange, I think he had a lot to do with my decision to come back. But since coming back, it's been, you know, something that I've enjoyed. I think it's been challenging for me, the way we've played football, especially. It is a fast, physical game here, and it's only getting better, which is a very good thing for our national team, but also our young boys.